Alright, this is a shorter segment that I'm including on my online lessons page. Much of the stuff I've been talking about already has to do with chops, high notes, a little bit about technique, and a little bit about endurance, and just kind of developing embouchure. There's an important aspect of trumpet playing that we need to not forget in all of this, and that's sound, tone production, and quality of tone. A lot of the things that I practice are intended to maintain endurance. I use them to maintain technique, but at the same time I still need to be able to maintain a decent tone as well when I show up on a job. So if you're doing all soft playing all the time, that isn't going to hurt you, but every now and then you do have to put some air through the horn to have a bit of a feel for what it's going to be like when you want to play with a full sound. It shouldn't be a surprise on the gig. The thing I love to do more than anything else is something I picked up in graduate school. The professors of trumpet that I had in graduate school were disciples of Vince Chicowiscz, and they loved his flow studies routine. So if you don't know what the flow studies are, I would invite you to find Chicowiscz students and just dig a little bit deeper on that. But I'll give you a brief idea about what they are. And for me, the ideal flow studies book is the Clark Technical Studies. So I'll just quote a couple of those. This is going to be very short, just giving you the idea about how to do this. You should look at the other video clips that I have as well to get other ideas about working in different aspects of embouchure, but this is just dealing with sound. Okay? What they would instruct me to do is to take something like Clark Studies number 2, and I'll just play it in F. I'm playing my Stage 1 California C trumpet here. And I got a real deep mouthpiece. The Clark Technical Studies number 2 goes something like this. Okay. Now, so we have a reference point for what it is. To do this in flow study style, you do it a little differently from what I'm doing with my Clark Studies sotto voce exercise that I explained earlier. With that, I'm playing as soft as possible. Right on the verge of dropout. Okay? But when you're going to do the flow studies approach, my teachers would have me hold the first note a little bit and get a nice full sound, and then try to maintain that sound evenly throughout the entire exercise. Something like this. So it's louder. It's not necessarily triple forte, but just a nice full forte, and trying to keep the sound as even without changing as we possibly can. Keep the tone moving throughout. I think I maybe had a couple of little places where I squeezed it a tiny bit. I do a lot of jazz playing. But if you work at it, you can keep that sound very even throughout. Let's try the third one. Give the same idea about how to do this. I'll hold the first note, and then I'll go into the exercise. I'll play it in G. You should notice that I'm stopping and starting wherever I run out of air. I'm taking a very deep, relaxed breath. So I'm just trying to relax and open up as much as I can, and then launch into the exercise. The idea is if you have a relaxed, deep breath, keep your tongue down and let the air just flow through very easily, gets everything very relaxed. You have a sense of calm when you go to start the thing. And then when you play a nice full, just a 1F forte, and move that sound throughout, and don't let the tone change. Try to keep the tone absolutely consistent throughout. This is a very legit approach to this stuff. Jazz players, when I'm playing jazz, I'm messing with the sound all the time. But you do need to have a basis of playing where it is just consistent, solid, classical sound. And this is a flow studies approach to the Clark Studies. Simple, very easy to do. I would inject maybe 10 minutes of this into an hour of practice time, if that's all you've got. But figure 10 minutes out of every hour, do something that involves playing with a nice full sound. Quick comment, I don't do that above about a high C during practice sessions. Okay, when I'm just working and practicing for chops, I do that soft playing most of the time. And when I'm working on the high stuff, I do it softly. I just put in a smattering of the really loud screaming stuff. And that's usually later in the practice session and only for maybe 5 minutes. Okay, there you have it. The flow studies, look into the Vince Chicowiscz flow studies with other teachers and on the internet. See what you can dig up. But that, in a nutshell, is what it's all about. There you have it.